The vision for Serenity started very much with our design ambition to bring beautiful cloths and silks into the interior of Rolls-Royces, notably Phantom. And we researched beautiful cloths and silks, and it took us on a journey to the Far East, to the Orient, if you like, and we were very, very inspired by the tranquil aspect, the very pure design aspect of Japanese gardens, and the long traditions of hand-painted silks and embroideries that come from that part of the world, where many of our customers today come from as well. Our designers travelled there. We actually engaged with craftspeople in China. We drew inspiration from the Japanese gardens to try and create this sense of, this aura of serenity that was the foundation for the car. So we married this idea with our instinctive ambition to try and recreate something that belongs to our heritage as well, this lovely sense of upholstered carriage. If we go back to the turn of the century, not just Rolls-Royces, but many of the opulent carriages of the era were embroidered in the finest silks in the European arena, but from the silks of the Far East. So again, we used heritage, if you like, the heritage that exists in the Rolls-Royce mark, and brought it into the theme of Serenity, this Japanese theme, and we delivered it in a very contemporary way. The upholstery on the seats, the headliner, the lovely pearl inlays in the doors, and the way that we've approached the carpet area as well, we think is a nice sort of pure contemporary interpretation of those values and of those heritage touch points. The key part of Serenity is the silk interior. We very much as a design team wanted to bring beautiful cloth into the rear compartment of this vehicle. And it actually is inspired by those carriages and those Rolls-Royces that existed at the turn of the century, transporting, in many cases, the rich, the aristocratic, always seated on cloths. It was the chauffeurs up front that were left to travel on leather, often exposed to the elements, but in these lovely contained compartments at the rear, it was the beautiful cloths of the day, the rich embroideries. That's the fundamental inspiration for this vehicle. In using silks, we very much were inspired by the artistry of Japanese gardens and Japanese silk embroidery. We felt that this would bring a sense of calm and serene environment, as though a retreat, as though you are in fact the emperor, seeking some sort of solace within which to process matters of importance, matters of state. So as you recline on this silk and you look up and you see this lovely frond of cherry blossom reaching over your rear compartment, it just adds to that exquisite level of craftsmanship and also this serene, peaceful environment. That was very important to us in achieving this, the theme for this vehicle. Mother of Pearl features heavily. Again, it goes hand in hand with this Oriental Japanese theme. And we're very keen to bring in the luminescence and the translucence, the shimmer value of Mother of Pearl, not only in the real Mother of Pearl inlays on the wood sets, on the fascia and on the door cappings, but also on this lovely chroma flare paint. And we work very hard to try and get this Mother of Pearl effect just right. You can overdo it. It can become almost too purple, too green. And we've got just the right amount of flare now that gives a sensation of Mother of Pearl, and it was very much this Oriental theme that we were looking for. As a design team, we are always looking to bring new solutions, new ideas, new visions to our customers. We purvey Bespoke in a very artistic manner. We have a design team here in Goodwood, set up to sit with customers and, in the true traditions of coach-built personalization, offer them an artistic vision where the only limitation is their imagination. And our heritage offers such fantastic, rich resources, such as fabrics, embroideries, metal crafting, sometimes beautiful coach lines with all sorts of little beautiful embellishments. We look back at those and we can inspire ourselves to retranslate a very contemporary, very modern, forward-looking solution. And as a design team, we're always looking to bring new creative solutions, to push the boundaries, to push the designers into new artistic realms, and certainly Serenity has achieved just that. We have worked outside of our normal palette of veneers, let's say, palette of exterior colours, and looked at this new wonderful world of embroidery. And it's, from my recollection, the first time that any manufacturer in the modern era has brought fabrics, beautiful cloth silks, back into the interior of cars, of automotive vehicles. I think this car's for a powerful person who possibly in their business life seeks that moment to retreat somewhere, to relax, to achieve a moment of serenity, where they can perhaps have a perspective over their life, their business dealings in some way. They're a powerful person. And if you cast your mind back to maybe the emperors in Japan, who use their secret gardens, their lovely raked gravel areas with their cherry blossom that hang over the top, this is their chance to be in that lovely sort of moment of serenity and think about matters of importance, matters of maybe business dealings or domestic life, but it's that retreat. But these are powerful people, these are big characters, and Phantom suits those people. And this is a beautiful overlay with lovely silks and calming craftsmanship that will allow them to perhaps have a slower aspect to their life, to their dealings. With Serenity, our designers have gone into a new artistic realm. This is a very unique project for us, bringing beautiful silks and fabrics and embroideries into Phantom. And yes, we did have to change our mindset a little bit away from leather, trimming seats and certain parts of the cabin that would normally take leather, and work out how we could adapt silk covers and silk linings to those shapes and surfaces. And our designers worked very closely with the crafts ladies and craftsmen in Goodwood to execute absolute perfection. With Rolls-Royce, with the Bespoke department, every customer who comes into our studio and sits with our designers and creates a car that they can see for themselves, they want for themselves, and maybe there's a bit of inspiration that comes from the design team along their journey. We will say to them, have you seen this? Have you tried that? Why not put this wood, this new satin wood, with this new lovely open pore leather? We go on a journey with them. It's a very artistic process, a very creative process. And yeah, every project's different. And we learn from every project as well. There's an archive in our minds of things that we've tried, things that we've done, not to mention our rich heritage, which we always draw on for inspiration as well. When I look at the finished object, the car that we've created, and we all stand back, there's something very right about the stately presence of Phantom and the marriage of beautiful cloths that in some way, whether you look back at the aristocratic roots of these lovely carriages that occurred in the 17th and 18th and 19th centuries, there's a lineage there. And I think what we have today with Serenity is something that actually almost goes on from that lineage of stately carriage, transportation, if you like, in these lovely trimmed compartments. And I think there's a resonance between Phantom as a long wheelbase car, which you see behind you here, and the marriage of something very opulent. Not too grandiose. Those days of opulence in the indulgent sense aren't for us. We want something that's very contemporary, very considered for the customer base that we have around the world. And I think we've achieved something very pure, very beautiful. And obviously, if you appreciate fine craftsmanship, when you look up, you relax on the rear seat and you look up to the embroidered headliner. There's something very calming. And in this sort of heady time of powerful businessmen and ladies commanding business, whether in New York or Shanghai or in Berlin or in London, this is a car that transports them easily through the frenetic pace of life outside, and in this lovely serene interior, they achieve that moment to reflect, as though the world turns a little bit more slowly on that particular journey.